Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a video here from Win Adventure Knox, Knox, and it is Isles of Scilly Activities and Must-See Attractions Top 10. I'm excited for this. You know, I'll be the first to tell you, Americans don't realize that you have places like this. What we see is London. We see rain. Um, it it actually blew my mind when I saw a video that showed an area that had palm trees, and um, you guys suggested taking a look at Isles of Scilly. Um, and I mean, you look at something like this, and it looks like the Caribbean. Like it's gorgeous, beachy. I think you guys were saying like it gets around 70 degrees or so in the area. And yeah, we just don't hear about or see these places that you guys have. So it was surprising. It's still surprising, to be honest. Um, but you guys wanted me to look more into this one. I found a video a little bit on the history, but I got more than halfway through it and just kind of scrapped it because the guy that was doing it, he wasn't showing anything. Like he was just standing in place telling you stuff, and all you saw was kind of the boats behind him, but he wasn't showing the places that he was talking about or any of the attractions that he was talking about. So I was like, well, forget it. This is just kind of boring. So I found this one. Hopefully it's much better. I'll link their video in the description as always, along with links to Patreon, how you can support the channel here on YouTube. But let's go ahead and get into this one.
Good morning and welcome to the beautiful Isles of Scilly. As I come to the end of my 1 week stay here, I've put together a list of my top 10 favourite things. Number 10, Hewtown. With its gorgeous picturesque streets, its chocolate box cottages, its town beaches,
Gorgeous.
galleries, cafes, pubs, shops, and of course the key that then gives you access to all of the other islands. Hewtown has often been a hive of activity, whether it's been during the day or in the evenings. It's a must just to have a bit of a nosy around. Number 9, the locals.
So, one, let me know if you guys live close to this area or if you've visited before, if it's somewhere you guys go regularly. But like you guys know, I've looked at like canal boats and houseboats and stuff like that, and I think they're really, really cool. And when she showed those boats, I'm like, man, that would be a great spot to, if you have a houseboat, to just like set up. What is the weather like? Do you like here and obviously a lot of other places, like we get you get hurricane season. So there are areas obviously that are safer than others. But how is that like extreme weather wise? Does it get those crazy tropical storms or hurricanes? Are they regular? Are they really bad? Let me know in the comments if you guys know.
And their culture. On Wednesdays, there's gig racing for women, and on Fridays, the gig racing is for men. The Boatmen's Association run boat trips out on the water to watch each of these races, and it's something that's very unique to this part of the world. In addition to that, there's a very honest feel to the whole area. It's absolutely fine to leave things just lying around. No one's going to steal anything. For example, when we rented bikes, we weren't given any locks as we were assured no one will steal them. There's also honesty boxes just dotted around the island so that you can pick things up, and again there's just that trust that no one's going to steal things, and likewise any of the money pots that are left around, that no one's going to steal money out of those. The other thing is the sheer hospitality of people. Just yesterday our helicopter flight was cancelled, but it wasn't just ours. There were loads of helicopter flights and loads of plane flights that were cancelled, and one family was looking to be very stranded with it being the end of May half term and the Atillo swim run event for happening at the moment. The island is sold out to the brim. This family put out a plea on the Facebook group saying, is there anyone who could house us and our young children for the night? And a local family who lives here on the islands have taken them in.
That's so
Number 8,
nice.
taking the history of these islands.
I've been in a situation like that. Nearly. We had went up to the mountains and we got up there. It was the first time I've gone up there that there wasn't like snow or anything on the ground. I'm like, oh man, like we probably came at the wrong time. Um, by the time we got up in the morning, there was over a foot of snow on the ground, and we were staying in these. It was an Airbnb. It was a condo, and I had a balcony view of all of the cars that were entering into the condo of people staying. And I would say 9 out of every 10 cars that came in got immediately stuck. And so I was so afraid. Like it consistently kept snowing. It came down all day long. And thank goodness, I've got well, at the time, I still have a four-wheel drive car, but I had a truck, and it went through it beautifully, beautifully, thank goodness. But I was so afraid that we were going to get stuck up on the mountain because it's going up and down the mountain on these windy roads. There's been so many accidents. I've never gone up or down that road that there wasn't at least 3 cars that were pulled off because they couldn't make it. And I was so afraid that we were gonna like be past our stay of where we were staying at, and I knew they were already booked for the next day, and just like how we would manage on the mountain if we weren't able to get back down. But fortunately, my truck was a lifesaver. Literally on that particular trip.
So much history to this place, whether it's the ancient history such as the burial chambers and cairns, through to the slightly more modern day history such as the garrison walls, whether it's looking at the lighthouses, the day mark over on St. Martin's. And for me personally, a true highlight was going over to Samson, now an uninhabited island, but people were living there up until the 1850s. We took a tour with Catherine Sawyer, and it's something that I would highly recommend if it's on option if you were to come and visit too. Number 7, taking in all of the different transport options here on the islands. I took the Skybus to get from Land's End across to St Mary's, and unlike flying with normal airlines such as say EasyJet or British Airways, which has kind of become second nature to me, it was so much fun from start to end. Getting to fly on a tiny aircraft in a twin otter with a dog in the dog box, getting to be able to see the
be on a little
pilots in the
tiny
cockpit
airplane.
was so much fun. The Boatmen's Association of taking us around. That transportation, unlike when you do a self-drive holiday, was also a very relaxing and lovely sightseeing way to be able to look on and admire the islands from a different angle. On the island of St Mary's, there's also a bike hire, which is something that we did, and we thoroughly enjoyed that way of being able to get around the island quite quickly. But if you're not so interested in having to put in that effort of cycling around the island, there's also the opportunity to rent a golf cart too. Number 6, walking. Each of the islands offer gorgeous coastal paths that really don't take much effort to wander around. Nice. Yet the coastal scenery, the chocolate box villages and hamlets, the honesty boxes, flora, fauna and wildlife that you'll get to see is worth so much more than the tiny bit of effort that you need to put in. Number 5, the flora and fauna. Whether it's visiting Tresco Abbey's garden, seeing its tropical plants that are able to exist in this lush English countryside, through to just wandering across the islands and seeing the sorts of flowers and plants that are growing naturally in people's gardens.
Yeah, that's why, because obviously I know what a British garden is, and like the idea of what I think an usual American would think of with it. It's so interesting to see that alongside these tropical plants and trees.
Gardens. We also decided to take a tour with Will Wagstaff on Briar, who showed us all kinds of flora and fauna. Number 4, water sports. Whether it's taking a wild swim in the seas, renting a kayak or a stand-up paddleboard, or even getting your own little sailboat or dinghy out for the day, taking to the waters is a really fun way to be able to explore these islands. Number 3, the island's wildlife. We were fortunate enough on our first day to be able to take a wildlife boat tour out as far as Bishop's Rock, but it also took in the Western Rocks and Annet. It allowed us to see a plethora of seabirds, and the seals that were on the rocks were just endless.
Oh.
At first we got very excited when we saw the first few, but then it was just one after the next, and they all had their own cheeky personalities. Some just didn't really care, others were fighting. And of course it's not just the boat trips. When you walk around the islands, you're constantly seeing and hearing the wildlife, the tweeting of the birds. Here on St. Mary's, we did a nature walk and came across some bird hides, so we're able to go and sit into those, looking out onto lakes that were otherwise very secluded from humans. When we did our walk with Will Wagstaff over on Briar, he was also able to point out further wildlife that we otherwise would have missed or just wouldn't have known as much about. Number 2, the food. The food on these islands is phenomenal. Everything seems to be locally grown and naturally organic. We thoroughly enjoyed the ice creams that we got from the Troy Town farm on our first day. We enjoyed the food trucks that were here at St. Mary's. They've got both a fish and chips van and also a Thai food truck. On Wednesday morning, St. Mary's offers a farmers, makers and growers market, and from there we were able to get a Scilly tatty cake, we were able to get the Veronica's fudge, and also some fresh crab meat that we could then use for sandwiches over the coming days.
I love crab.
The islands have also got things like bakeries, which we used when we were over on St. Martin's. There's also honesty boxes that are full of food, and we picked up some eggs and jam also when we were on St. Martin's. And of course the sit-down restaurant offering is quite wide, and on our final evening, or at least what we thought was going to be our final evening, we had a really lovely meal at On the Quay. Wow. And in at number 1, it has to be the beaches. These islands offer some of the most gorgeous beaches, whether it's the raw and rugged Samson Flats, through to the happening and lively Porthcressa Beach where I'm sat right now. Some of the notable favourites of ours was the bar that linked between St. Agnes and Gue. We loved Par Beach over on St. Martin's, as it just kept going for so long and had so few people on it on a gorgeously hot afternoon.
It's crazy.
And we also whiled away an entire afternoon on Brushy Bay over in Briar. So that was my personal top 10 for the Isles of Scilly. I'd love to know if you agree or disagree. Do you think that there's anything that I've missed out that you think that others should be aware of? Please do let me know in those comments.
That was a fantastic video. That was way better than the other one that I was looking at before. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm about ready for the beach. My son's gonna be out of school here. I think within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I think 3. Counting this week. So usually in the summer, he splits a lot of time here and at his dad's, and I've got us a trip planned in about mid-July, June. Yeah, mid-June. So mid next month, we're going to the beach. We're going to be in the Wilmington, North Carolina area. And I'm so excited. I'm going to try to get some really great videos for you guys of just the beach and some of Wilmington, which is kind of a really cute little city. But then you also have like several beaches off of it. One I really want to go to that I haven't been to for over 10 years is Topsail. And I used to go there when I was a kid. And it's one of the areas where they have a sound so that you can go to the beach with the waves, or they have the part of the ocean where you can kind of go off to that doesn't have the waves coming in, which I want to take my son to because he's never been. And then there's also, I think it's Wrightsville Beach right there as well. And I'm super excited for some shrimp and some crab. So it can't come soon enough for me, and I'm going to get some video for you guys. If there's anything you guys want to try to see in particular, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to work it out for you. But I enjoyed that video a ton. I might try to look for another video just showing different aspects of the area because it's just gorgeous. And I can't get enough of it. So if you guys know of any or anything that you know of that's there that you want me to look at, put that in the comments as well. And yeah, thanks for watching with me, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.